Let me start with something uncomfortable. Every morning, before you even get out of bed, you've already made a decision. Not a big one, not a dramatic one, but one that quietly shapes your entire life. And here's the scary part. You don't feel like you chose it. Jean-Paul Sartre would say that's exactly the problem. Most people think philosophy is about dusty books, old men, and questions that don't pay rent. But Sartre was obsessed with everyday life. Your job, your excuses, your routines, the moments where you say, "This is just how I am." According to him, that sentence is one of the biggest lies we tell ourselves. Not because you're evil, not because you're lazy, but because being free is terrifying, and pretending you're not free feels safer. So today, I want to talk about Sartre's philosophy, not like a lecture, but like a mirror. One that might be slightly annoying, but useful. Sartre believed something simple and brutal. You're free, always. Not free like motivational posters and sunsets. Free like no instructions, no built-in meaning, no excuses. You weren't born with a manual that says, "Do this, become happy." You were dropped into existence first, and only later expected to define who you are. Sartre called this idea, existence comes before essence, which is a fancy way of saying, you are not a finished product. You are a work in progress that writes itself by choosing. And yes, not choosing is also a choice, just a very sneaky one. Let's say you hate your job, you complain about it, you fantasize about quitting, but every morning, you still go. Most people say, "I have no choice, I need the money." Sartre would nod, and then quietly say, "No, you chose security over uncertainty. That doesn't make you weak, it makes you human. But the moment you say, 'I have no choice,' you give up responsibility, and responsibility, to Sartre, is the price of freedom. Freedom isn't exciting, it's heavy. Sartre had a term for when we lie to ourselves about our freedom. He called it bad faith. Bad faith is when you reduce yourself to a role to avoid responsibility. I'm just an introvert. I'm just bad at relationships. I'm just not motivated. I'm just not that kind of person. These sentences feel comforting. They shrink the world. They make life simpler, but they also trap you. You're not denying reality. You're hiding from possibility. It's like wearing a name tag that says, "Sorry, this is all I am. No updates available." Sartre would rip that name tag off immediately. Here's something strange. If you're anxious, Sartre would say you're doing something right. Anxiety isn't a sign that you're broken. It's a sign that you realize your choices matter. When you feel that knot in your stomach before making a decision, that's freedom showing up uninvited. Most people don't want freedom. They want instructions. Sartre's answer? There are none. And that's the point. So how do you actually live this without spiraling? First, stop asking, "What am I supposed to do?" Start asking, "What am I choosing right now?" Second, own your decisions, especially the boring ones, the shows you binge, the messages you don't send, the habits you repeat. Third, act first, understand later. Sartre didn't believe clarity comes before action. He believed clarity comes from action. You discover who you are by doing, not by thinking forever. Sartre didn't think life had a hidden meaning waiting to be uncovered. No destiny, no grand script. Meaning is something you construct through commitment, responsibility, and choice. You don't wait until life feels meaningful to act. You act, and meaning shows up later, quietly. So if Sartre were sitting across from you right now, he wouldn't ask what you want to be. He'd ask, what are you choosing today? Not tomorrow, not someday, today. Because whether you like it or not, you are already writing your philosophy with your actions. Sartre's message isn't comfortable, but it's empowering. You are not stuck, you are not finished, and you are never just one thing. You are free, and that freedom is yours to use or avoid. If this made you think, question yourself, or feel slightly exposed, that's a good sign. Follow the channel if you want more ideas like this. Simple explanations of deep concepts that actually apply to real life. And next time you catch yourself saying, "I didn't have a choice," pause. You probably did.